DK Metcalf requested trade, which, oh, by the way, interesting little nugget came out late last night on Thursday night that Seattle was disappointed that news came out because that was the same day they decided to send Tyler Lockett packing. Tyler Lockett is revered by everyone in Seattle as just an awesome dude, awesome teammate, awesome player. So they really wanted it to be, in some ways, a celebration because everybody knew this was coming. And like, let's just talk about Tyler and all he meant to the franchise. Instead, the news gets released on the same day that DK Metcalf wants a trade. Early reporting is they're seeking a first and a third. I had one exec laugh at that. There's no way in hell that's going to happen. He also reportedly wants north of $30 million, or at least $30 million a year in a contract extension as he enters the last year. Does he even get that? Do you think he gets $30 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's going to get 32 or 33 a year.
He's not that kind of player.
I think he's going to go. I think he'll go to the Chargers for a 2 and a 4. I think he's a great fit with the Chargers. I think he can be your one, quote unquote, but heavy running game. Herbert can take a lot of deep shots to him and I almost said Kelvin Benjamin. Holy crap. Quentin Johnson and then Ladd McConkey operate in the slot. Yeah, nice look. They draft the running back because it's a great running back class. I don't know. You take it RJ Harvey in round 4 and balance him with Gus the Bus and J.K. Dobbins and the whole thing. And like, it's a pretty damn good unit. All of a sudden, I think he fits Green Bay as well, but the rumors already wants to play somewhere warm. Who knows? There was the report that the Packers had offered 23 and Christian Watson. Feels a bit. I mean, I'm not a huge Watson guy, and I know he's got the injury, but that still feels like a lot. I don't really get what Seattle's doing.
Right.
And
this goes back to the Geno Smith discussion, right?
Why don't you just either pay these guys or move off everybody? But you just hired a new coach. Last year was the time to move. DK's value last year, if you didn't have to pay him, and he was 27 now. He's coming off a better year the year previous. Why wouldn't you have moved Lockett last year at the deadline and said, "Hey, this is what you do. That's the classic sports. It sucks, but we have to move off those guys." Or, it felt like they held on a year or two too long on a lot of these guys, and they're in this weird position of who are this? What are the Seahawks now? I don't know. I'm just confused. The Devin Willis doing that's cool. I don't. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know. They're weird. They confuse me.
I might be on an island with this one. And look, he's a number one receiver for a bunch of teams, but he's not a number one receiver. He's not Jamar. He's not Justin Jefferson. I don't know who else you want to put in that. Tyreek Hill a couple of years ago was that. He is. I think he has a high floor, but I think he's already hit his ceiling. He's not gotten any better, right? So I wouldn't pay the guy $30 million. And I know someone. And look, again, it's not my money, and the cap has gone bananas. So if someone does it, if the Patriots were somehow able to convince him to come here, and
I would do a 3-year deal. I wouldn't go long more than that.
Well, that was his extension was 3 years. Here's the other part I want
for 90 if you could. Yeah. That to me, get to age 30 season, I'd feel okay. Anything more than that, I'm starting to be
Here's
the diet, the whole thing. There's a lot that goes into DK that's not just the player.
I think Seattle signaled to you what they thought about DK at the second half of the season when JSN was their number one guy. And I think that's part of why Metcalf wants to go. I mean, wants to go
number one. I don't know.
I don't think so, but I feel like that's what they decided to do. They're going to.
I agree. I don't know if no. And then I'm going back and forth. Okay, let's say they get a 1 from, or they get a 2 and the 4 from the Chargers or something. I don't know. And they take, what do they take? They take Matt Golden in the first round at 18, or you take Burden, and I don't know. I just don't. They're just in a weird spot where the quarterback's good, but obviously I don't feel that he's good enough to get them over the hump. But they could do a lot worse, so you don't want to get rid of him. The O-line should be better. It's not. It's very bad. And they took a bunch of guys high. Yep. The defense, they've invested a ton of picks, but I don't know if it's a great defense. I just think
that's going to take some time to come together, I think. Yeah,
I guess. Yeah,
interesting scenario to see how quickly that plays out too, because there was a quote from John Schneider, who was on the radio yesterday, where he's like, well, worst, his quote was, worst case scenario, we have a physically talented receiver playing for us in 2025. So like worst case, he's gone. They're gonna make it happen. They'll find the best deal possible, and hopefully, he's gonna have a little bit of say in it because he wants the extension. So hey, if you trade me to New England and I don't want to stay there, like what are they gonna give up? Because I'm not gonna sign the contract.
The best part of this, Mike, is that was almost like the Schefter tweet that said the Jets have allowed Allen Lazard to seek a trade, but would be okay with him coming back. No, they wouldn't.
No,
not at all.
No. Slightly different level of player as well.